Good afternoon, everybody on YouTube and on Facebook. I hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful Monday with whatever you're doing. Listen, you guys have been asking for it. You guys have been asking for questions. You've been asking for transfer news. So what I thought we would do is both me and Nitesh decided that it would be a good idea to do a little transfer update, but I thought I'd do it as a Q&A so you guys can get your questions in and we'll answer them as best as we can. What we'll do, obviously Nitesh is joining me, and thanks for joining me, Nitesh.
Thank you so much for having me on, Daniel. And yes, we are also live on Facebook and on YouTube. So a lot of people, as you know, keep asking us about the transfer news, the transfer rumors, and the stories going around. So it's finally we addressed the elephant in the room, and always good to be on the channel as well.
Yes, yeah. So what we'll do is, before we take some of your questions in, just what I want from you guys is just keep firing those questions in, and we'll go through them. But what we'll do first of all is we'll just run through a little few pieces of transfer news that have happened recently. So obviously, yesterday, Martinez completed his move to Aston Villa. So that happened yesterday, and there's quite a split on Martinez. You know, a lot of people wanted to keep him. A lot of people think that 20 million is not enough. So just give us your thoughts and feelings on that one. And the other piece of news that's emerging today, or the biggest piece of news that's emerging today, is that Arsenal have agreed to sell Lucas Torreira to Fiorentina, I believe, for 24 million euros. So also give us your thoughts and opinions on that one too. Nitesh, just give us your thoughts and feelings on those pieces of transfer news.
Before that, was it Fiorentina or was it Arsenal to sell Lucas Torreira? I read to Torino.
I think it's Fiorentina. Hold on, let me have a look here.
I heard Torino, 24 million euros.
Yeah, you give us your thoughts and feelings on that, and I'll look at. I want to give the correct information to you guys. Give me a second. Let me just have a look here.
And happy birthday to Sankalp. He's saying it's his birthday today at 14th, and Arsenal finally give me a well-deserved 14th.
Wow. Yeah. Let me look at this here.
And yeah, with respect to Martinez, I'm not happy with that deal. Shouldn't have been sold. With respect to Torreira, obviously had to sell him. Bye-bye, Torreira. Thank you for the memories or whatever, the 2 seasons. Time to go.
Yeah, I think it's Fiorentina, you know. I think Torino kind of dropped out. But then I'm trying to find that report that I saw yesterday. Let me have a look here.
From what I read, it was Torino.
Let's have a look here. Let's have a look here.
Either ways, I would take the 24 million euros.
Yeah, I suppose where he goes, it doesn't really matter. But I wanted to give the guys correct information. Listen, if any of you guys listen, you guys tend to know more than we do on occasion. So if any of you guys can clarify that for us, is it Fiorentina or is it Torino? Listen, I know he was linked with Torino, but I think it's more likely Fiorentina. I think it is Fiorentina, but if you guys can clarify that, that'd be great. Yeah, listen, obviously there's not much in the way of incomings as well at the moment. And also there's not any more new, there's not, still waiting for Aubameyang's announcement, which that Arsenal are taking the royal piss if we're being brutally honest, you know, how long does it take to announce a player? And a lot of people are saying, "Oh, it's done, it's done. It's just waiting for the announcement." If it was done, it would have been announced. So, and if it has been done, why isn't it being announced? I'm going to be honest, I'm getting a little bit concerned because, like I say, something that's straightforward is turning into a bit of a saga, and it doesn't need to be. Doesn't need to be a saga. Just announce it. Just come out and say. But you know, Arsenal, they like to keep us hanging on, and it's a bit of a piss take, to be honest.
Yep, I can understand what you're saying, and that happens a lot with Arsenal. But I think the fans need to accept now that that is the way that things just are with Arsenal, and unfortunately, you can't help it. I mean, no matter how much you say that things shouldn't be the way they are, at the end of the day, they are the way they are at Arsenal. And Jitin is saying that Torino are in advanced talks to sign Lucas Torreira from Arsenal. Same was the one from Grant Roberts as well. It's Torino, not Fiorentina. Fiorentina has dropped out, probably.
Remember, guys, do smash a like on this video and do hit the subscribe button if you are new. Let's try and...
Yep, let's get them likes up.
So yeah, big up everybody in the chat.
Yes, so that is the first piece of news, and I don't think Arteta will miss Lucas Torreira. So I think that is what the fans also need to reciprocate now, because we have some good players in midfield. We got back Ceballos, and if we want to sign the likes of Thomas Partey and OR, I think our focus is right on the mark.
Yeah, and yeah, I just missed that. I missed that earlier. I know you read it out, but yeah, happy birthday, son Carl. I hope you have a good day. And it's a shame that Arsenal are not giving you what you want. Listen, do Arsenal give Arsenal fans what they want? Oh, geez, it's mad.
I think Sankalp can be just happy that Arsenal is giving what Arsenal fans want on the pitch right now. Off the pitch, not so much.
Okay, so Grant McRoberts says the Torreira deal is Torino. Okay, I must have got it wrong, or either the Daily Mirror has printed it wrong, which can happen because people who work for the Daily Mirror are a bunch of clowns. So yeah, I'll have to, either I read it wrong or they printed it wrong, but which both are possible.
Yep. At the end of the day, Lucas Torreira is leaving Arsenal. That is what we want, and we're happy with it. We're getting money.
Yeah, so the thing is as well, with the 24 million euros,
yeah.
Listen, we've got, if you believe the reports, we're getting up to 20 for Martinez. We're getting up to 22 million for whatchamacallit, for Torreira.
24 for Torreira. Yeah, 24
yeah,
for
so
Torreira.
24 million euros equates to 22 million pound. 20 million pound equates to, I don't know how much that is in euros, 23, about 22 million euros. So by my reckoning, that's 40 odd million euros, right? So why don't they just take 5 million euros and add it to that and go and get Partey? Because we offered 25 million plus Guendouzi. So what's happened to this 25 million that they supposedly offered as a swap deal, as part of a swap deal with Guendouzi? So by my reckoning, with this money, if that Torreira deal goes through, they'll have enough for the release clause for Partey. Because what's happened to that 25 million that they supposedly offered in a swap deal? Because assuming that that's still sat in the bank.
I think that money went for Gabriel. But the problem is not that. The problem is that
but that Gabriel deal, Gabriel deal was sewn up not long after. So listen, that Gabriel deal was sewn up just after they bid the 25 million and Guendouzi for Partey.
Yep,
All I'm saying is there's enough. All I'm saying is there's enough money there, and there's enough money.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. The only problem there is I think Arteta is now more into OR than he's into Thomas Partey. So he's probably going to go for OR more than he will try to go for Partey. So that could be one problem. That could be the problem with the whole thing.
Yeah, Grant says the Auba deal is done. He just thinks that Arsenal are fannying around. Like he said, we did that with the Gabriel deal. I don't know, like I'm slightly because I'm seeing some reports as well, and I don't know whether to believe these reports because it might just be a case of they're picking on the fact that Arsenal fans are getting impatient. But I've seen some reports that he's still holding out for Barcelona, but then that could be, like I say, that could be just with the Arsenal fan base's mood, and obviously the papers are printing something to get everybody in a frenzy. So, I've just seen those reports surface again in the last couple of days.
Can I ask you a question? Did Adam write those articles? Did Adam write those articles? Did you read the author name? Was it Adam?
I'm not going to pronounce your name. I'll let Natish do that. But this guy on Facebook from your page has asked in Thomas Partey or AR, which one are we going to sign? Aouar. I think it's looking like Aouar, isn't it? It's looking like Aouar.
Yeah, because Arteta's newfound fantasy for Aouar. So,
do you know what? I'd be happy with either one of those. I know a lot of people, and me included, want Thomas Partey, but if we could only get one or the other, I wouldn't be like I wouldn't see Aouar as a second choice to Partey because for one they play in two different kind of positions, and it plugs a gap. Listen, we've known from day one that we're not going to get all our business done in this one window. So if we got one or the other, I'd be happy with that. Listen, I still think that the Partey deal is not dead. But if we got Aouar and couldn't get Partey over the line, I wouldn't be too displeased with that because Aouar's a great addition. And let's be honest, it's trying to get all these deadwood off. It's trying to get all these deadwood off, and let's remember as well that next summer a lot of this deadwood are out of contract anyway, so it frees up a lot of wages and stuff. But yeah, I wouldn't be too happy. I wouldn't be too displeased if we got Aouar. I think Aouar would be a great signing.
Yep, and
evening to you, Russ Morgan.
Good evening, Russ Morgan. Yeah, the best thing is now, anyone who could have said that Arsenal does not have the money to get Thomas Partey can't say that anymore. Next thing is now all depends on whom Arteta wants to sign. If he says he wants to sign Aouar, he goes for Aouar. If he wants to sign Thomas Partey, he goes for Partey. So now the argument that Arsenal do not have the money for a Partey or an Aouar is going to go out the window. Because we are already selling Martinez for £20 million, and apart from that, we are selling Torreira for almost the same price tag. So I think finally that argument is out of the window that Arsenal does not have the money for either player. We have money for both of them, in fact, now. So both of them, as in if you want to sign either of them. So now what we can do is now we can leave it to Arteta to decide which one he feels is the better option to bring in at Arsenal Football Club. And based on that, he will further take the call. So as simple as that.
Yeah. Grant says he would rather take Partey over Aouar because we need that solid CDM. No, we do. We do need the solid CDM. But listen, and Partey is my first choice. Like if we, if you asked me, would I rather take Partey or would I rather take Aouar? Partey would be my first choice, but having said that, if we only got Aouar, I wouldn't come out of this transfer window feeling like, oh, we just got second best because we couldn't afford our top target. Because Aouar, again, is a top player. It's not like we're going in for Luis Suarez and signing Mesut Ozil, which, you know, has not worked out, is it? Do you know what I mean? So it's a little bit kind of different.
Yeah, and
but
one more thing,
I wouldn't be too disappointed with Aouar.
Yeah, one more thing I just want to quickly add, and one more thing I just want to quickly add with respect to Arteta, that let's leave it to Arteta, because Arteta knows what he wants. Let's leave it to Arteta, and let's not bother about or fight on it that if he gets OR over Partey, then I think Arteta knows what he wants best. So let's not try to turn the wheel here, because at the end of the day, as I said right now, Arteta has the money for both. He could sign either one that he wants. And if he says that I want OR instead of Partey, then I think we don't need to argue with that. Because he feels that if he feels that he has Xhaka, El Neni, and at the end of the day, he has Ceballos in that midfield, and that is good enough. He wants a creative one, and he goes for OR, then I think we don't need to argue with Arteta on that. He feels that he does not need Partey, then he will not go for Partey. If he feels that he wants to go for Partey, he will go for Partey. And at the end of the day, it's about filling voids. It's not about wanting a player just because we want it, because he has flourished at Atletico Madrid. At the end of the day, we need to decide. We need to let Arteta decide that which player has shown what so far.
Yeah.
So if he's happy with OR, then let him stick to OR. If he's happy with Partey, let him stick to Partey.
Chadwick says we need Hossa and OR because he can control the central midfield. We don't have anybody in the team that can do that. We need to get rid of Xhaka before we can get Partey. Yeah, I do feel like the thing is Arteta loves Granit Xhaka. Arteta loves Granit Xhaka. And listen, we all know that Granit Xhaka is not good enough. We all know that his performances have not been great. The only thing I will say with this Granit Xhaka thing is under Arteta, he has sort of got his performances under control and he is performing a lot better. Whether that's to do with the change in formation or Arteta's just focused on getting him to focus on his strengths rather than trying to get him to be a player that he isn't. You know, I'll let you guys decide that one. And also, Granit Xhaka, fair play to him for, you know, since that whole incident, he's knuckled down and got back in the team. So that should be, you know, players like Guendouzi should look at him and know that there is a potential way back for you if you know, if you want to come back into the team, if you apply yourself right and you put your attitude correct, then there's a way back for you in the team.
No, Guendouzi is not getting that chance.
Yeah, I agree. I agree that Guendouzi's probably burnt all his bridges, but what I'm saying to you is that there is a way back if he wanted there to be a way back. You know, Granit Xhaka did far worse than what Guendouzi's done, and he has got back in the team. You know, and he was captain
because he was Arteta's former teammate. If it wasn't, he wouldn't be. Same thing with Ozil. Even though now Ozil is gone, but they got back because they were Arteta's former teammates. If they were someone else, they would never see the daylight again in an Arsenal shirt.
I'm not so sure though, because Mesut Ozil was Arteta's former teammate, and look at that, he's not in the team.
No, but
he was to start with. He was to start with, and then I was the first one to say, I'm worried because he's picking his teammates. But then actually, now he's just not in the team, and kind of makes me think that maybe he's being a bit ruthless.
Good boy.
And to be fair to Granit Xhaka, he has performed a lot better on the pitch.
Good boy,
it's not like he doesn't deserve to be there. You know, him and Ceballos have formed up a great understanding between the two. Yes, is it good enough to take us forward long term? Probably not. But in the short term, it's working And only this season will tell whether if the results carry on the way they are, then you could say that it is working. But long term, listen, they're not a winning midfield. They're not a winning midfield. So we do need some more in there. The midfield is weak, and even Arteta knows that. He said that before the game on Saturday. He said that he knows that there's areas in this team that need strengthening, and I do believe that he will strengthen. It's a shame that he's had to do it in the midst of this pandemic and had to do it in the midst of financial constraints, because I do believe you give Arteta 100, 200 million and it would vastly improve this team. But Omar says we're not getting Partey. You can't see it happening. And big up to you, Ilias, in the chat as well.
But let's be honest. Which Arsenal manager got 100, 200 million? Like 100 million, okay, maybe once in a blue moon Wenger got. But 200 million, not a chance. I don't think anyone ever has gotten at Arsenal. Any manager has ever gotten 200 million at Arsenal. I don't think that has ever happened and will never happen.
Russ Morgan says we don't need Partey. We got the Egyptian maestro. Obviously referring to El Neni.
I think El Neni will prove a lot of people wrong this season with respect to one thing, that when we need to defend, he can do it. But when we need to attack and create, he can't do it. So El Neni can do it when we are pushing forward. And
Chadwick says my homeboy Kolasinac doesn't want to leave. He loves it too much and his high wages. Do you know what, Chadwick? Right, Kolasinac is. I think he is going to go. I think Kolasinac is going to go. And as for him being my homeboy, that guy does nothing on the pitch. He's just all muscle and nothing else. He doesn't do nothing. Apart from Bale, Mesut Ozil out of sticky situations.
Yeah, that is what I was going to refer to. The only thing that he can protect is not our goal, but he can protect Ozil. That's about that. That's what he does. That's the only thing he can do.
Ilya says Aouar will give us that creative from midfield that we don't have, but Partey is that strong midfielder that we lack. Listen, I agree with you. We could do with both, and if we got one this window and one the next window, that'd be great. But I would love us to get Partey. I would absolutely love us to get Partey, but the thing that is slightly concerning me is A, it's gone quiet. B, Arsenal, all the reports are suggesting that Aouar is Arteta's number one target. Maybe he's looking on it that if he gets Aouar in now, and it makes no sense because, I know, obviously release clauses have to be paid in one go, whereas deals you can structure. But if you look on it, maybe Arteta's thinking that if we get Aouar in this summer, maybe get back into the Champions League via the Europa League or top four. More likely going to be the Europa League, especially if Spurs keep up their shit form. They're going to get knocked out anyway in the qualifying rounds. Then maybe Arteta's thinking that getting Thomas Partey with Champions League money will be more easy to do, because we'll be back in the Champions League and, we'll be back in, back in the Champions, and we'll have more money. And maybe that's possible. Listen, we don't know what's going on inside the club. We're unfortunately just fans and numpties that sit on YouTube. Do you know what I mean? We don't know what's going on. But I do feel that all the noise is coming out from the club. And a lot of people, listen, and this is where a lot of Arsenal fans need to realise that the transfer window is still open. People are acting like the transfer window is closed. And because we've not done it in a certain time frame, because everybody's looking at Chelsea and everybody's looking at smaller clubs and going, oh, but they're getting deals done. Everybody's just lost sight of the fact that the transfer window is still hotting up. And, there's still 3 weeks to go in the transfer window. Most of the business will happen now in these last 3 weeks. Most of the business will happen now.
Yep. And what I wanted to add was What I wanted to add was with respect to that, again, as I said, let's not worry about which out of the two we get, because Arteta knows what he wants. The club has made him a manager because of the same reason, because he knows the signing he needs. They know that they have the confidence in him that he can get the players, because he got a trophy, that is the FA Cup title, and the, you can say, the Community Shield with this same team. So now they believe in him, and now they know that this guy will sign the right players, and let's tell him the budget, that we have this much money, and let's tell him that you get whatever players you want. You want OR, you get OR. If you want Partey, you would get Partey. If you want both, so if we can sell both, if we can sell more, then you get both. If we are able to, I'll tell you one thing, if we are able to sell Guendouzi, we're able to sell Socrates, we're able to sell Mustafi, I will bet on it. If all three of them are sold, both Partey and OR are coming to Arsenal. If I'm saying again, if apart from these two guys who are being sold now, Martinez is gone and Torreira is going. If we sell Guendouzi, if we sell Socrates, if we sell Mustafi for money, all three of them, if possibly Bellerin, yeah, then even great.
Do you remember when we bought Lacazette?
Yeah.
And everybody was moaning, oh, why didn't we get Aubameyang? Why didn't we get? Well, we should have got Aubameyang. He's the better striker. And then 6 months later, we got Aubameyang, and we ended up with them both. When we signed Lacazette, or when we were linked with Lacazette and Aubameyang, and people were going, would you rather have Aubameyang or Lacazette? And people going, oh, it's more likely that we're going to get one or the other. And then we ended up with both. So a similar situation could happen here with Arsenal, with OR and Partey. Big up Sam G. His question is, would I be happy with Partey or 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 neither? Well, I'll answer it. I did answer this before, but I will answer it again. And I think, my first choice would be Partey. But if we did get OR, then I'll be happy with that. I wouldn't be disappointed.
Yeah, and my response to that would be, I would be happy with whichever signing Arteta is going for, because Arteta knows best. Arteta knows which player he wants to get in, and he knows right now what he needs. If he can rely on Xhaka, if he feels right now he can rely on Elneny, if he feels he can rely on Ceballos and play in OR or play in Partey, whoever he wants, then I think I'm happy with that. I don't need to crib about the fact that we didn't get one. As I said, if we sell those three players as well, I think then we'll get both. But at the moment, we'll definitely get OR. That is what seems to be the more likely one, because of Arteta's affinity towards him and what he does on the pitch.
Ross Murphy says Elneny is a very good squad player. I agree. I think Elneny would be a good squad player. But again, if we're going to get these top targets in, we need to make some kind of sacrifice.
No, the thing with Elneny is, see, again, I'll tell you this. If you look at how Elneny plays, he cannot create. He does not have creativity. He is actually a defensive midfielder. The problem is when he's playing with Xhaka, Xhaka is also a slow player, and Elneny does not have creativity. Now, if Xhaka pushes forward, he can't track back enough on time, and he can't be back in position to defend. So what happens is, Elneny is the one who's requested or instructed by Arteta to push forward, but his creativity is not as good as maybe Xhaka's or Ceballos'. So what happens is, that is why, even though he may be defensively better, he can put in those blocks, he can put in his body in between him and the goal, and the attacking player and the goal, and block shots and all those things. He is not a creative guy. Now see, if Thomas Partey comes in, I would tell you one thing. If Thomas Partey comes in, more or less, I think it will be Thomas Partey and Elneny playing that, or Thomas Partey and Ceballos. Xhaka will be out. If OR comes in, what will happen is, it will be Xhaka and OR rather than Xhaka and Ceballos. Elneny could be the replacement, the backup for Xhaka in case there is an injury or he wants rest, and Ceballos will be the backup for OR in case he needs rest. So this is how the substitutions will be made and how the squad will be strengthened. So this is how they are actually planning to get the deals done. And because Arteta is trusting in Xhaka, that is why he is having that affinity more towards getting in OR than getting Thomas Partey. Because Thomas Partey is a defensive midfielder, and OR will play the box-to-box or the holding midfield role with the option of going forward and attacking. So that is why right now Arteta has his mindset more on OR rather than on having it on Thomas Partey.
Can I just say as well, Brownie? I don't ever remember making the bet because you wanted to do £100 bet, and I said that was too much, and then we never come to an agreement on what the bet would be. So yeah, good luck with that one.
Brownie made the bet with himself. Brownie's right hand is beating his left hand at wanking.
Let's have a look here.
I'm just a bit sad that McGoldrick is not playing for Sheffield. He's not starting. He's on the bench.
Comment on from Facebook again. I'm not going to even try to pronounce your name, but he says we have every reason to compete domestically or in Europe. The board cannot fail the fans. Wow.
His name is Shima Ondo. Shima Ondo. And yes, what he's saying is right. I think you and I both agreed that we are going for the Europa League. We should go for the Europa League title this season, without a doubt.
Especially if Spurs get knocked out, which that could be a possible, the way they're performing.
Spurs don't need to be knocked out by any opposition. They will try to punch the opposition and punch themselves in the face by mistake.
I love it how people are still defending Mourinho, going, oh, it's only one game, we've got to give him time. You guys, fucking Tottenham was on the decline last season. It's not just one game under Mourinho. If you guys think the Mourinho is still a top class manager, flaming delusional. Jesus Christ, man! The people that have got a hard on over Mourinho is flaming unreal. Do you know what I mean? Like the guy's finished. Finished. He's a spent force. He's not good.
I think the problem with Mourinho is, again, a lot of people will say this, including maybe Liam Damon if he is watching, that he is trying to fit in defensive philosophies in a team that wants to play attacking football, which has been the case with Chelsea, Man United, and now even with Spurs. Even though he's won titles with both the former two other clubs, and he will possibly win something with Spurs as well if he gets it right. The problem is he's trying to put in defensive philosophies now in teams that are trying to play, as I said, attacking football. They got Harry Kane, they got Son, they got Lucas Moura, they got Bergwijn, they got these players who are attacking players. They got even Lascelles who wants to play forward, who wants to push forward. They got Ndombele. These guys want to push forward and create more chances and score goals. So they got players. They got Doherty. Doherty again is an attack-minded fullback. So they got players there who want to play attacking football, but unfortunately the manager has all defensive types of tactics. So I think now is the time that he needs to go to a club like maybe say Burnley, or maybe go to a club like Sheffield United. I'm just giving an example. I'm not saying he's going there. These are the clubs that will actually be able to adapt his philosophy well, because they generally play the defensive side of football. So he's unfortunately trying to go to every club and trying to fit in his philosophy there, which is not working. Now Chelsea, he knows Chelsea well, so it did work out for a few seasons, but it's not going to be a long-lasting one. He tried to do it at Real Madrid, they threw him out. He tried to do it at Inter Milan. Okay, Inter Milan is, yes, somewhere where he could have done it for a long time, but eventually even they got bored and even he decided to leave. So that is the thing. If he had his philosophies at Porto were very different. His philosophies at Chelsea initially were very different. Even when he came to Chelsea the first season, they were scoring a lot of goals. But after that first season and after he's gone to United and he's come to Spurs, the philosophy has become very defensive. Maybe because he's not getting the right kind of defenders that he's wanted. That could be one reason. But if he's given the right kind of time, I think he can fit in some philosophies at Spurs as well. But Harry Kane will have to definitely go for that.
Yeah, big up. Brownie says it was a tenner. Oh, okay, I must listen. That stream was a long time ago. Big up Sam Greenwood TV. He says that Elneny protects the back three well. With him playing so well, Arteta might rethink Partey.
I just want to add one thing. Sam said that Elneny is not supposed to attack, but the thing there is, that is not true, because when he's playing with Xhaka, we know that Xhaka can't push forward too much because of his lack of pace. and because of the fact that he's very slow and coming back into the positions. So the responsibility goes on El Neni, who's the, you can say, the faster player, to go forward and come back as well. So eventually, whether El Neni may like doing that or not, he eventually ends up playing that box-to-box role a bit more than Xhaka, because Xhaka does not have the pace and the ability to push. Xhaka is better for playing those long balls from the back. So at the end of the day, when that happens, like people were saying, why was Torreira being played as cam? It happens to be the role that you eventually end up with in the team. And El Neni's role right now does require him to push forward as well. That is why Ceballos, who does it better than him, will be replacing him in the first team, unless we need to defend maybe a 2-goal lead or so. And that is how it will be. If we have to take a lead, or if we need more goals, it will be Ceballos playing. If we have to defend a lead, or if we want to hold on to a draw, it will be El Neni playing over Ceballos.
Yeah. Yes. Listen, get your questions in, guys. I'll say any more transfer questions you want answering, get them in. But other than that, I don't think there's pretty much any other news to report, really, is there? I mean, there's not really a lot happening at Arsenal at the moment. It's kind of, there's a lot of deals in the air, but none of them's really coming home to roost yet, are they? They're still sort of
I read one more story coming from Hammers News. I think this is a new website, which is saying that West Ham want Kolasinac.
Yes, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that they wanted Kolasinac. To be fair, West Ham are a bit of a mess, and Kolasinac will probably improve them. Jesus Christ, West Ham were awful on Saturday, absolutely awful. You think we got problems? Jesus Christ, just go and watch West Ham, and it makes all our problems seem like nothing.
But I think I know this website, Hammer News. Is it from the Scoop Dragon network? I need to check. But what I was trying to say is, I think Cresswell is better than Kolasinac. Let's be honest here.
An cue a West Ham fan comes in the chat. Big up, Sophia. I hope you're well, mate.
Big up, Sofian. And just want to say, Sofian, I think you will also agree with me. Cresswell is better than Kolasinac. You can put it in. He didn't have a first good game. David Moyes could clearly see that Cresswell was shit in that first game. But overall, if you see, Cresswell is better than Kolasinac. I personally feel that. Kolasinac is all muscle and no brains. Yeah.
Sofian is asking, how would we rate our transfer window out of 10? So far, because the transfer window is not open, for me, I'll give us a solid 6, because I do think the business we've done is been good business, considering the circumstances that we're in.
You mean it's not closed? You said it's not open. Not closed.
Oh, did I say it's not open? It's not. It's okay. So yeah, the window's not closed yet, so it's still open. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. So far a 6, and if we get Partey and Aouar, or Partey or Aouar, then it'll go up to an 8. 10 if we get both, but 8 if we only get one or the other. But that's so far at the moment, it's a 6.
Yeah, the reason I corrected you is because then people in the chat will pick up that 1 point and keep going on.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, man. These guys are like vultures. Jesus Christ. These guys are like midgies in a cheesy pussy. Do you know what I mean? Jesus Christ.
I want to get something. I meant the pussy, not the midgies.
No, well, you want to get some midgies on a cheesy pussy?
No, I said the pussy, not the midgies. But
okay. If that's what floats your boat, Nitesh, carry on.
No, I meant the pussy, not the midgies. But or the cheese. But what I was saying with respect to that is, I wanted to add one thing. I think I'll give the transfer window so far a 5. I think we got better balanced transfer signings last time when we got Leno and all these guys. I think that was 2 seasons ago. So I think that was the one. That was a good one. And the last season was also good when we completed the Saliba deal. That was, I think, the far better one when we got Martinelli. So I think that was still better than this one in comparison. If we get maybe an OR or we get a Partey, I think then this will put the nail in the coffin, and definitely this will be the best transfer window in like maybe 5 to 10 years that we would have had. So right now I'll give it a 5. Yeah, I'll give it a 5.
Sophie Ann says Hammer's news is quite reliable. Yeah, it's just a shame your team isn't. So you give it a 5.
I'm just trying to see if Hammer's News is the same website that I know from the Scoop Dragon network, because I know whom it belongs to. He's my friend. He's from Ireland right now, and just seeing. I need to check, but I'll have to check it later. They started this. I think, is it a new website? Because they had started a new website for Hammer's News. No, I think it's GRV Media. No, it's not the same. Yeah.
Sam says, let's drive Kolasinac to Stratford straight away. And Taib says, West Ham is Kolasinac's level.
Yep, agreed. West Ham is Kolasinac's level right now. But again, as I said, I think Cresswell is better than Kolasinac. Let me see. No, Hammer's News is different. It's not the same. Yeah.
Omar's asking, do we think selling Martinez will be a mistake? Because Leno will have to play every game this season. Do you know what? We're going to save that for the Martinez debate, which is going to happen very soon once we work out the logistics. So we'll save that for the Martinez debate, because that's a whole different debate.
Yep. And obviously we have Matt Macy as well. We don't know how good he is or how bad he is unless he plays. So we can't make any predictions on that.
Sam says we have to sell players to balance the squad. Yeah, that's very, very true. That is.
You remember this is why like we had this discussion before, but the problem is that this is why I said Guendouzi will not leave the club, because we are not good at selling. We suck at selling, unfortunately, whether we like it or not.
Big up Samuel Jones. He says, not really. We're bringing a number 2 goalkeeper in. Big up Samuel Jones. I've not seen you in the chat before, so you must be a new person.
And I'll just say one thing to Samuel. It's not just about bringing in the number 2 goalkeeper. The number 2 goalkeeper has to be good. I would take Romero if he's not going, or he's already gone, I think. But I would have taken Romero at Arsenal as a number 2 choice.
Russ Morgan says, would you keep the side, the same side that played against Fulham against West Ham?
No, I would not. I need at least 2 changes there. I think Saka should start. If Saka is starting, then El Neni can start, because one of them has to be attacking. If Saka is playing instead of Niles, then El Neni is fine. The other option is either Ceballos plays instead of El Neni and Niles remains the same, but Saka needs to come on as a substitute. The other changes, William, I think we need to get William Saliba into the team before the Liverpool game, and Rob Holding can probably be on the bench. And that Rob Holding can come on as a substitute. It has to be Saliba, Gabriel, and possibly it has to be, apart from him, it has to be Tierney. Or the other option will be, if David Luiz is fit, I think Rob Holding will go to the bench and David Luiz will come into the team. So there will be 2 changes there. Those are the 2 main changes that I see happening into the squad. I don't want Pepe to come in. I think Willian cannot be replaced at this point of time. I think Lacazette will stay as well because he scored the goal. Aubameyang there as well. So I think those are the only 2 changes that I see happening to the team from the Fulham game.
Yeah, a lot of people in the chat are talking about this keeper from Dijon. To be honest, I know next to nothing about this keeper, so I can't really comment on whether he's good or whether he's shit or whether it'd be a good signing, because I know next to absolute nothing about this guy. So yeah, I can't really comment on that.
Let's wait and watch. Let's wait and see what happens. See, right now, as I said, we need to trust in Arteta. That is what I'll say. if he's getting rid of you can say Martinez, then I think there will be some, either he trusts Matt Macy, or the other thing is either he knows that there is some keeper that he can get, and maybe there are talks going on as well. And with respect to other players as well, I think we need to trust a bit on him. I think we need to not point fingers at him till the transfer window is open, because you never know what surprises may happen. And Arsenal is known to be a club that gets some deals done on deadline day. So deadline day will be crazy again, as always, for Arsenal.
Yeah, deadline day is certainly going to be crazy. And speaking of deadline day, heads up for all you guys on the channel and the pages and that. I don't know what Nitesh is doing on his page, but certainly on my channel on the page, I'm going to be streaming the whole day of deadline day from about 10 o'clock in the morning, going right through until the deadline. And I'm going to get various guests on. I'm going to plan the logistics out for that. But yeah, that's going to be happening on deadline day. So keep your eyes peeled for that stream. That's coming up that's going to happen on deadline day.
Yep, that would be a good idea. We can coordinate it. We can coordinate it backstage, and sounds good. Sounds like a good idea. Why not? I mean, everything is good as long as like we get some players. Hopefully, we get some players. It's not a dry deadline day for us. Yeah, as long as Arsenal goes and gets some more players, it'll be all good.
Yeah, I do hope that we get one of our top targets in. I do hope that. But it's like I said at the beginning of this transfer window, and yes, we need players in, but it's more important that we get players out. And we're starting to see now movement on that. We're starting to see players leave, and I said we are going to lose fans' favourites. Players like Torreira, who let's be honest, it hasn't quite worked out for him, but he was a fan's favourite. Certainly, I was a big fan of Torreira. He's a decent little player, and he done a job. Okay, I don't fully blame him for his decline. I blame Unai Emery for playing him out of position, and yeah, he just doesn't fit Arteta's plans. But when he first came in, he certainly for 6 to 7 months performed solidly, and we have to give him credit for that. But sadly, he's not worked out, and sadly, he's going to be one of the fans' favourites that looks to be on his way out.
Yeah, see, the main thing right now is that he, unfortunately, I think Arteta even gave Torreira a clean slate. Let's not forget that he's given Xhaka one, so Torreira definitely got one. But unfortunately, he does not feel the need because to build his team around Torreira. And no one can blame him for that, because the guy is getting results, he's getting things done. So if Arteta feels that Torreira is not needed, I think the club agrees. And also the factor about him being homesick and the fact that he hasn't fit into the English climate and many other things related to that, as you have seen. So those add up to that as well. And
there's a comment here from Sam. I'll let you read this one out, Nitesh.
Which one are we talking about? Is it the Runnerson one?
Right at the bottom. Is the last comment there.
Run Arson played very well in the Danish league when Pukki was there and saved a lot of his shots. So that is what he's saying. So let's see what happens. See, the thing is, that is what the thing is now. We need backup players. We still need them. The window is open. We are selling some, so we will buy some. And the only thing I can tell to Adam, you don't need to worry about whether we sell some or buy some. You can focus on the 3-some or the 4-some that you are having and enjoy, and just wait for the window to go on and see if Arteta gets more players. And let's see whether we get the Thomas Partey or we get the OR. And I mean, Adam, I'm just taking because he's my friend, so I'm just taking his name. But this is to all fans who are saying that Arsenal has been not doing stuff this window. As I've said this yesterday on Daniel's show, 6 players we got. One, a young player, George Lewis, obviously academy player. Apart from that, Dani Ceballos or Loni, who we got back again. But in total, apart from that, we have signed 4 players. 1 on a free transfer, 3 players have been purchased. I mean, 2 on a free transfer. Cedric also is free, and 2 we have purchased. Pablo Mari and Gabriel we have purchased. So we have gotten total 6 players. Which other club has gotten 6 players? Apart from maybe Chelsea getting a lot of players, I don't know whether they got 6 or not, but yeah, I think they also got 6 players. Every other Premier League club has signed less players than Arsenal. So why do people say this, that Arsenal is not signing players, or they're signing players really slowly, or they are saying that Arsenal has not done enough in the transfer window? We have we have done damn as well. We have done a lot of signings, a lot of activity in this transfer window, despite everyone saying that Arsenal did not have money at the start. We don't have money, but we signed 6 players. Isn't that a miracle?
It is. That is, you know, and it's like last last year. People think, oh, we didn't spend money, but we did. We spent 100 million last year.
Yeah, and suppose, imagine that we don't have money and we are signing 6 players. If we had money, how many would we sign? We would be beating Chelsea by a mile.
Yeah, definitely. Listen, I think we'll probably wrap up here because we've been going for almost an hour. There's a game. There is a football game. Sheffield United are playing Wolves. So, listen, probably go and check that out. But listen...
Sorry, that is what I was just mentioning. McGoldrick, unfortunately, is not in the starting lineup. I have him in my fantasy team, and I have Lundstrom. He's in the starting 11, but McGoldrick isn't, and another player from Wolves who isn't in the starting 11 is Jota. So those guys are missing. So FPL players were a bit pissed about that.
Yeah, and listen, thanks to everybody who's tuned in. Remember, I've got the big show tomorrow night, where I get you guys involved. So probably going to be going on air at 7 p.m. I'll post the StreamYard link in the chat so you can come on and have your say, talk about all things football. It doesn't have to necessarily be about Arsenal, but I know a majority of it will be. So you can jump on and say have a little bit of a chat and that, and I'm really looking forward to that tomorrow. Nitesh, just tell everybody where they can find you.
So thank you, Daniel, once again for having me on the channel, and big up to everyone on the channel, in the chat, and on the pages as well on Facebook. You guys can find me on Arsenal FC Fans on the page, on the Facebook page, and yes, you guys can check out some of our videos. A lot of videos there, a lot of videos to come as well. Apart from that, you can find me on Beyond the Post as well on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. We did a live video yesterday about the COVID situation, because I think it's time we start talking about the pandemic as well. So if you guys are interested, we may do, I may talk to Sam about doing a 2.0 edition of that tonight, and possibly we can continue doing it for a few weeks, as long as we keep getting updates from across the globe on what is the situation of lockdown and situation around the globe with respect to what they are going through, and how, as football fans and normal individuals, are able to cope with the situation. So you can find all those things on Beyond the Post as well. So big up to you guys. Thank you so much once again for your support, and hope to see you there as well. And thank you, Daniel, once again.
Yeah, no, listen, it's I watched a bit of your show yesterday and it was fantastic. So yeah, maybe I might join in on the 2.2 show. Also, guys, like I say, there's not going to be anything else on the on my channel today, but you can catch it. You can catch me on Simpy's channel for the Chelsea game. I think he's still doing that. So we'll be over there on his channel for that game. I've got a few players in my fantasy team that are playing for Chelsea, so hopefully they do well, because let's be honest, my fantasy team has done shit this week. And then for game 2, for week 2 of the FPL, I'm going to start doing some FPL content on the channel as well. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. Still going to be joining Simpy's FPL stuff, because listen, with FPL you can do various different things. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. Like I say, thanks again for tuning in. Thank you to everybody who's put in your questions. Some great questions there. And listen, enjoy the rest of your evening. And there's only one thing left to say, and that's come on, you Gunners.
Go get OR.